everyone, I'm Naturopathic Dr. Anka Martolog, founder of Progressive Medicine Center in Richmond Hill, where for the last 20 years we've been helping this community heal and prevent chronic diseases and life-threatening ones with naturopathy. Today I'd like to share with you the 5 main naturopathic principles that changed my life, because I believe that in the future they might be useful to you. At 21 years of age, I was studying pre-med at the University of Toronto, and like most students there, I felt quite invincible and happy and powerful. And I was spending my time learning new things and enjoying my time with friends like everybody there. One day I discovered a small pea-sized lump in my right breast. I didn't think much of it at the time, but I decided to check it out with my doctor just in case. I was very surprised when she came back with the diagnosis of breast cancer, but the real shocker came when she advised me to cut off my breasts as a preventative measure at 21 years of age. Now, I didn't know much about health at the time, but I knew that that wasn't going to be a good path for me to follow. So I decided to search for another second opinion, and in looking for a better solution for myself, somehow I discovered naturopathy and its principles. And it's these 5 principles that have kept me healthy since then, and that have helped thousands of my patients as well. And it's these 5 principles that I'd like to share with you today. Number 1 is treat the cause of disease by identifying and removing the underlying root causes of illness rather than suppressing symptoms. The best example of that is if you have a headache. If you want to suppress the symptoms, you can easily take a Tylenol or an Advil. But if you want to really look at the real cause of it, you might consider, if the headache is on the top of the head, that might have to do something with your liver. If it's frontal, your stomach might be involved, so you have to address that. If it's nauseating, it could be hormonal. If it's at the back of the neck, of the head, it could be stress and tension, so you have to apply stress maintenance and stress relief methods, etc. Of course, it's not as black and white. Like, for example, just my 17-year-old patient that I just had in the office yesterday, who came with a headache that was on top of the head, but it had liver and stomach and hormonal involvement as well. The second principle is heal the whole person through individualized treatment. We human beings are very complex beings with interconnected layers, the physical layer, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And in order for proper healing to take place, we have to acknowledge that all these levels are interconnected and they work mutually exclusive. The best way to demonstrate this principle is by quoting the Greek philosopher Aristotle, who coined the phrase, "The whole is bigger than the sum of its parts." What that means is the body is not just a machine where you can, or like a car, where you can just replace a tire and you can call it whole again. The body and its systems work synergistically. The best example from clinical practice is cancer. Cancer appears in a body that is very high in toxicity and low in immunity. So removing a tumor surgically may offer some temporary short-term relief, but for long-term good prognosis, you need to look at the whole body, the immune system and the toxicity levels and everything else. The third principle I like to talk about today is support the healing power of the body. We are so brilliantly designed, we have our own inner healing ability. Our body can self-heal. Providing it, given the right nutrients, the right building blocks, and providing that we have good absorption in the small intestine of these nutrients, the body self-heals. We call this the inner healing ability. For example, everything in the body regenerates. The skin regenerates every 28 days, the bones regenerate every 5 years, and everything else is in between. For example, the liver regenerates every 6 weeks, kidneys every 4 weeks, etc. The fourth principle is work with the healing power of nature. And what that means is this. We humans as a species have been evolving on this planet for millions of years alongside with nature, with natural things like plants and herbs. And in the process we have developed internal mechanism to process them properly. Drugs, on the other side, have been invented. They're chemicals, first of all, and they have been invented in the last 100 years or so. And we haven't had enough time to develop internal processes to metabolize them properly, and that's why we have side effects when you use drugs. So it is important that in the healing process is much easier when we work with natural substances, support the body in a natural way. And the last principle, which is one of my favorite, is emphasize prevention. Prevention from a naturopathic point of view is more than just early screening through methods like mammograms and colonoscopies. Prevention means using natural therapies and methods to decrease the risk of the illness happening in the first place. For example, did you know that by implementing a healthy lifestyle strategies, you can decrease the risk of all major diseases like cancer, diabetes, heart disease and stroke by 90%. And the even better news is these healthy lifestyle strategies are the same for all of these diseases. So if you just focus on living a healthy lifestyle, you can decrease all your risk 90%. So next time you face a health crisis, I encourage you to consider these natural principles in your decision process. You have many options.